Welcome back, Twins fans, to another edition of Talking Twins, hosted by myself, Brad Swanson, and co-hosted by Daryl Yates. Now, with the Twins trade deadline passing and the Twins not making as many moves as we thought, it's time to turn our attention to the remainder of the season and what we'll see and what the Twins will be. Now, the good thing is we're going to get to see, some really young players that are talented, like Danny Santana, who's already up, and along with Kenny Vargas, who was recently called up and has been playing pretty well. You've got the call-ups that are going to come up in September, of course, as the roster expands to 40. And we've also got a couple open spots here in the next few days, including a starting pitching spot that have to be filled. So even though the trade deadline is passed, there's always plenty to talk about when it comes to Talking Twins. Now, this week we'll definitely go down on the farm, as Daryl and I will give you the latest in the Twins minor league system. We'll then take a little spin around Twins chat, where Daryl and I will talk about what's going on with the Major League Club over at Target Field. And after a break, I'll get back to you guys with the Twins calendar, which will just keep you guys up to breast on the next week in Minnesota Twins baseball. Now, with that, before we start the show, we just also want to remind you guys that Talking Twins t-shirts are now available for sale. You can purchase those one of two ways, actually. Before I mention that, though, just want to describe the shirt. They're a very nice, very soft, heavyweight white t-shirt with the big Talking Twins logo in color on the front. And then on the back, the shirt's got logos of all the different places where you can find and listen to Talking Twins. Now, to get a shirt, you can either go to our Facebook page, which is at facebook.com/twinsnotes, and then just click on the products link that's right at the top of the page. It'll take you right to our store where you can purchase the men's or the women's variety. You can also go out to the Twins Notes site at www.twinsnotes.com and then just click on the store link on the right-hand side of the page, or you can actually click on the little story that's on the front page about the Talking Twins t-shirts. Either way, they'll take you to the Twins Notes store where you can then make your purchase for the men's or women's t-shirt either way as well. The shirts are just $16 and then $3 for shipping and handling. They're a really nice shirt, and I want to say up front that both Daryl and I appreciate the support from Talking Twins for any t-shirts that are sold. For anybody of you guys that decide to go purchase a shirt, we really greatly appreciate it, and thank you for supporting Talking Twins. Just one last reminder before we start the show. Remember, guys, if you have anything you want to talk about, you want to, questions you want us to answer, things you just like to hear on the show, remember, you've got a multitude of ways you can get that information to us. You can always email us at talkingtwins@icloud.com. Again, that's talkingtwins@icloud.com. You can always come out to the Facebook page and just leave us a comment right that way, and that's, again, facebook.com/twinsnotes, or you can always even tweet us, which is just twitter.com, and our handle is twinsnotes. So whether it's email, Facebook, or Twitter, please don't be afraid to give us any feedback. Let us know what you think of the show, things we should change, things we should add, people we should have on, whatever you guys would like to hear or see, just let us know, and we'll do that. And with that, guys, we'll be right back for Down on the Farm. Hey, Twins fans, we're back here on Talking Twins, and it's time for this week's Down the Farm segment, where Daryl and I will cover the star players at each level of the Twins minor league system. And after that, Daryl's got a special little piece for us where he's going to give us some of the best tools of the minor leagues. But before we do that, let's get into the star players at each level first. And I'm going to kick it off with rookie ball down in Elizabethton. And my guy for this week is Pat Kelly, the second baseman down in Elizabethton.
Nice.
Now, kind of quiet. A lot of Twins fans probably are like, who's Pat Kelly? Well, let's just start with the slash line in the last 10 games. 393 batting average, 433 on OPS, and that 571 slugging percentage.
Take it.
Pretty nice. 11 for 28, 3 doubles, 1 triple, and 2 RBIs in his last 10 games. I'd say that's pretty solid. Nice little middle infield prospect sitting down in Elizabeth, and that's been kind of quiet down there. Of course, Nick Gordon grabs a lot of that.
He's sharing some time with Nick Gordon.
Yeah,
and Nick Gordon's going to take the spotlight.
Certainly,
but when he gets his chance, he's making the best of it, and that's what I love about him.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
The guy I got, and I believe you had him a couple weeks ago, is Sam Gibbons.
Sam Gibbons.
He's a stud, and if he stays healthy, continues on, he's gonna be a stud in the next couple of years. He was signed by the Twins as a non-drafted free agent in 2011. On the year, he's solid 3-2, 2.52 ERA. He's got 41 strikeouts, 11 walks. He's not a strikeout. He's a pitch to contact. He's got great command. This week, 7 innings, only gave up 2 hits. He walked 2, but he struck out 7.
Nice.
Solid inning.
That's very solid.
Good job to Sam.
Yeah, that's very solid, Sam Gibbons.
And I'm going to go up here to Cedar. I'll lead us up to Cedar.
Yeah, take us to the Colonels.
Our stud pick this year, Nick Birdie. He was right now he's the number 13th overall prospect, and college closers generally, just as a sidebar, they make it to the big leagues quick.
Yeah.
Basically, you need 2 pitches.
Yep.
Well, he's got 2. It's lightning fast, 100 miles an hour.
The heater, yep.
And a little faster even, about 103. This week, he earned a save, struck out 9, walked just 1. But here's the big thing. Over the last 10 appearances, going back to July 8th, he's only allowed a single run in a game while striking out 24 in the process.
Now,
so he had 2 games in the very beginning where, he got rocked. I don't know if it was shell shock, a little wear from college.
Welcome to minor league baseball. Yeah, exactly.
Here you go.
Welcome to minors.
But here you go now. Like I just said, 10 appearances, 1 run, 24, and he's got 3 saves.
Now, when do you see Nick up here?
Next year.
You think 2015?
I think next year he could easily make it by the end of the year next year.
So like a second half call up or a 40-man?
Depending on what they do with Dunsing, Swarzak, some of our other boys in there, he's already ready. You got to remember, he didn't go. It's not high school; it's college. He pitched in college.
Oh, certainly.
So he's ready. His arm is physically ready. He hasn't had any problems. Knock on wood. And he's throwing 100-mile-an-hour heat.
And see, I'm asking for you fans more than for myself. We're gonna get into that a little more as we get into the rest of the season with these guys, because now it's going to start looking at, all right, are one of these guys making the progression, and Daryl's going to give us a little more of that as we get into the second half of the season and that window starts to open.
Remember, we're about a month away from the end of the minors.
Exactly.
Because then they take a little hiatus until they get into the Arizona Fall League, the Winter Leagues, and such on that.
And guys, when we're lucky enough to have a guy like Daryl digging into the minors as well as he does, we're going to get pretty good coverage, I think, on that, all fall long, even after AFL. We'll be all over it, don't worry. And before we leave Lowe, I got to get my guy out this week, and he's been with us a lot, but when he keeps hitting and playing ball like he is, I can't go away from my guy Mitch Garver, the catcher down at the Colonels. He's got a slash line right now in his last 10 games, guys, 353, 450, and 559. 12 for 34, a double, 2 homers, 4 RBIs, and 4 walks in his last 10 games. The fact that he's also playing a darn good catcher behind the plate doesn't hurt those numbers at all.
He's calling a good game, and he's got some stud prospects behind him that he's pitching for, or that he's catching for.
Yeah.
And I almost thought, I might put him up here instead, but I kind of figured you were going to do him because I know how much you like him, and I don't blame you at all. Here's the thing. He probably would have been promoted by now, but the Twins did the right thing by signing Kurt Suzuki last week, as everybody probably remembers. And there would have been a chain effect if Kurt Suzuki would have been let go or traded. I think Mitch Garver would have been up in high A.
I totally agree. And also,
he's got the numbers to back it.
And I want to put a little cut in here. We're going to have a little fun at this segment. This is something I actually thought up earlier today. If I can get 5 or more people that can tell me they want a Mitch Garver interview, I am going to contact my contact at the Cedar Rapids Colonels, and I'm actually going to try to line up a Mitch Garver interview, whether it's us getting Mitch through Skype on our studio line, which we now have set up, or we're down there. If I get 5 people that listen to our podcast that throw us either an email or a Facebook comment feedback that say we want to hear a Mitch Garver interview, we'll make it happen. It's kind of our challenge to the fans, if you will, for listening. If 5 of you or more want it,
matter of fact, let's do this.
You throw in something.
How about you guys? How about you guys do this? Cedar Rapids, that's what we're going to be looking at here. Your favorite player in Cedar Rapids Colonels. Name them, and we'll try to get it for you. If we can't get Mitch, call Stewart's down there.
We'll go, exactly.
You guys
I like that.
name it, and we'll see what we can get.
I like that challenge, Daryl.
We got a couple of contacts down there, and we're going to be there here in a couple of weeks anyhow. So Yeah, you name it, we'll see if we can get it for you guys.
We'll do it. We'll get them. If you guys give us that feedback, and we'll go for it the last few weeks of the season before it ends in August. So
how about you lead us into Fort Myers?
Yeah, let's go talk about the Miracle a little bit, because I've got down there another kind of sneaky pitching prospect, but he's starting to look pretty good, and that's Brett Lee down there at the Miracle. His last 10 appearances, guys, 5-2 with a 1.63 ERA, 49 innings pitched, and a 2-to-1, 30 strikeout, 15 walks ratio. Not too bad. Not bad.
It can improve a little bit.
He
but
can
it's
improve
not bad.
there. But
He's got time.
the 250 average against, I like the fact that they've got another arm, and we've talked about Tim Shibuya down there, and there's a couple other.
You can never have too many arms.
No,
you got to have it.
Exactly, and it's nice to see it. And with that, I want to lead Daryl into his high guy. You guys know, you've heard me talk about him. All I'll say is the home run derby champion.
Well, he's gonna be, and
he was this year in the Florida South League.
Fort Myers has the best prospects, bar none, always. That's where your top-of-the-line prospects are going to be. Then they hit double, and then, like Kenny Vargas, guess where? He's in the majors.
They're going on to Minneapolis.
Adam Brett Walker, our outfielder out there, there's no doubting his raw power, as Brad just said, the home run champion. Let me give you a couple numbers here, you guys. Okay, last year, 2013, Cedar Rapids, he was the Midwest League leader in all home run, RBI, and total bases.
Nice.
And he was second in slugging percentage, runs scored, and extra base hits. Okay, we got a month to go here in 2014. Right now in the Florida State League, he's the leader in home run, RBI, and currently third in total bases. The man's got. Go ahead, Brad.
They call that guy one thing. That's a run producer right there, folks. Just, Daryl, all those categories Daryl laid out, I mean, every one, that is a bona fide run producer.
Yes, and that's what you need. He's got 23 home runs, 14 doubles, 83 RBIs.
He's looking for a hundo. He's looking for a hundo. He's
going to get it.
He's going to get that hundo.
He's going to get it.
Yes, he is.
So I spotlight him for the week, not just because of all those numbers I throw out. He was 8 for 16, 2 bombs, 6 RBI, and 3 runs scored.
Wait a second. He hit 500 this week?
He hit 500.
Nice.
500. This is a guy, the only thing.
How did he make star of the week?
The only thing needs to improve on is strikeout to walk ratio. He leads he's in the top 5 in that category, and that's strikeouts.
And that's the one.
But you know what? I will take it.
Yep, I will
if
too.
He's hitting a long ball. You're giving me 100 RBI, you can strike out 80 to 100 times.
If I get all those other run-producing numbers that you mentioned, exactly. And as you get
not all, but most power hitters are like that.
And as he gets to the major leagues, guess what? You get more coaching.
He's got another level. But you know what? I promise you guys, I promise you Twins fans, we will see him next year if he stays on this pace. He'll start the year out in Double-A.
Yep.
And if he stays on this pace, guess who we're going to see next year?
I 100% agree on that. Yep. I mean, that one's a Daryl and I lock it. We both 100% agree on that one. I mean, I'd have to see him fall off the face of the earth.
Well,
before.
He hasn't.
And he hasn't.
3 years.
Exactly.
In 2.5 years. 2.5 years that he's been in.
So I'd say we're pretty comfortable and solid in saying that you'll probably see him in a Twins uniform sometime next year.
So my next guy, though, we're going to go up a level here. New Britain. Now, it's trying to, who are we going to pick? Who are we going to pick? People are getting called up. People are getting shuffled around. Well, Ronaldo Rodriguez.
Yes.
July 16th, he was named the midseason All-Star for the Eastern League. So congratulations to him. He well-deserved for the year. A solid 293, 16 homers, 34 doubles, a triple, 53 RBI, and 67 runs scored. The week was pretty solid, though. 3 for 10, a homer, a double, 2 RBI, and 3 runs scored. He's consistent. What I love about Ronaldo is his 4 years now in the minors, he's been consistently improving. I featured him 3 weeks ago, if you guys remember, and he went up 40 points in his batting average from last year to this year. That's huge.
Yeah, that's
That
tremendous.
means his plate discipline and everything has improved 100%.
Yeah, he's taking more pitches. Obviously, he's seeing more pitches.
He's not striking out. He reduced that strikeout to walk ratio, and that's what I love.
Better at bats. I mean, better at bats, and better at bats bring better performance. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's just a matter of fact. And before we leave New Britain, I've got to give you guys my guy of the week, and that's pitcher Tyler Duffy. No, Duffy in his last 10 appearances has
He's
looked
been a stud.
really good. 7-1 with a 3.11 ERA. That's in 66.2 innings pitched. But what I like are the last two numbers. First of all, the strikeout to walk ratio on Duffy right now in his last 10 appearances, 52 Ks, 11 walks,
Nice.
5-1. And to go with that nice little minuscule 217 batting average against, you're not getting a lot of free passes from Tyler, and you're not getting a lot of hits from Tyler. So makes it for a rough game for the opposition, and that's just the way Twins fans like it for another arm coming from New Britain. And with that, let's jump up to Rochester and let's get the Stars done here so we can let Daryl take over with the tools so far. First of all, my guy at Rochester who's been sneaky quiet in the outfield, but boy, with these numbers, he's not going to stay quiet very long, and that's Daniel Ortiz. With a slash line right now, 400, 447, and 686 in his last 10 games. That's not slugging the baseball. That's literally murdering the baseball. When you hear why, 14 for 35 with 4 doubles, 2 homers, and 6 ribbies in 10 games.
That's pretty good.
Hey, Daniel Ortiz,
That's a heck of a week.
keep hitting the baseball like that, and you might be able to fill an outfield position or two in Minneapolis before you know it.
They're craving for it right
Yeah,
now.
I'm
Let me
saying.
tell ya.
And Daryl, with that, let's
I
wrap
got
it
Tommy
up.
Malone. Tommy Malone. Everybody knows he was just acquired this week for Sam Folds. I was watching this one on the edge of my seat because I wanted him to perform so good. So they just get him up to the bigs where he belongs. Now I got a couple things here on Malone. First of all, his stat line: 7 innings pitched, 6. He scattered 6 hits, gave up an earned run, walked 2, struck out 3. Okay, perfect. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yep.
Twice on Sunday.
Yep.
In the bigs, if I haven't said it before, he's 6-3. He's got a 3.55 ERA. He's got 61 strikeouts, so only 27 walks. He will be in the bigs really, really quick. Now, here's why. I found an article, you guys, from Phil Mackey, 1500 ESPN, kind of explaining. This was good. I needed to see this, and I'm glad I found this. It's why he went down to AAA. Why is he not in the lineup? Because, as we know, the Twins own the 3rd worst starting pitching ERA in baseball. And obviously Malone's 3.55 is definitely going to help our ERA. Well, the one reason is that, entering the season, Malone had racked up 2 years, 18 days of Major League service time. That's 1 full year of service time is 172 days. So he racked up 2 years, 18 days of Major League. A full year is 172 days. There are 183 days in the 2014 Major League season. So if you do the math, Malone needed 154 days of service time this season out of a possible 183 to reach his full 3 full years. Because Malone was optioned to minor leagues by the Oakland A's on July 5th, all the Twins had to do was keep him at AAA through the first week in August to make sure he didn't reach 3 years of service time. Why does it matter? Well, because players are eligible for arbitration after 3 years and free agency after 6 years. So I believe that it's possible that Malone could still reach arbitration this offseason as a Super 2 candidate, which means that he's higher salary. But because the Twins held the soft-tossing lefty down for extra week, they now have him under team control for 4 seasons instead of 3. I think it's a pretty solid move.
I totally agree with that. I mean, again, you traded a 4th outfielder. I mean, first of all, just look at the base of the trade there. You traded a guy that was a fill-in outfielder for a guy that could grab a spot in the rotation.
Well, everybody, including myself, was like, what the heck are they doing? Well, it made sense because now they have him for an extra year.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, and people don't know it, they do that a lot of time with prospects, with May and Meyer. You can't have them come to the big because they want to own them for that extra year. And there's a lot of debate going back and forth with that, whether or not they should do that. And that could be a huge, huge, huge issue with the next collective bargaining agreement that'll come up in a couple of years.
Yep.
But right now, as it stands, the ownership the teams have that right to do that. Is it fair or unfair?
It's a gray area.
It is. It really is. As a fan,
it's a gray area.
You want to see your best pitcher or that pitcher that's is going to be on your team for a long time. Well, you want to see him there as much as possible before he hits free agency.
Certainly.
Well, now because they put him down there for a week, and I believe he'll be called up next week sometime, I believe that, okay, it was a smart move because now you own him for another year.
And now, of course, then if you do trade Kevin Correa, if you do make a move like that,
Right.
for example, now I'm fine. You just slide Tommy Malone right in, and it's like,
And
probably.
you just, well, you
and
should
it
slide
probably.
him in
Well,
anyhow.
right.
No,
But,
no more Chris Johnson, Pino.
but whoever that
Logan
is,
Darnell.
that
But I
he's.
just wanted to share that. The article actually, again, it's Phil Mackey, 1500, ESPN, Twin City Sport Wire, if you want to read it.
Yep.
The full article. It was on August 5th, as a matter of fact. Check it out. It's pretty good.
And with that, let's talk about. We've got a little kind of special piece here this weekend down on the farm. Daryl's going to kind of go in depth to give us a new segment, or not new, but it's more of the first half of the year coverage of tools.
It's an annual thing that Baseball America does. The best tools in each league. So in 2014, the best tools for AAA, and we're just going to cover our boys. So the best fastball in AAA, let's guess it. Drum roll, please. Alex Meyer. Okay. Best breaking pitch in AAA, Alex Meyer. Get down to high A, you got the best breaking and best changeup, Jose Barrios. The best overall pitching prospect, Jose Barrios. I've been talking about him for quite some time.
He must be
Obviously,
good.
now he's up in Double-A right now, but the majority of his innings came in high A. Best defensive shortstop, Jorge Polanco. If you remember, we got to see him a little bit. And the best infield arm in high A is Nico Goodrum. He is a stud. We haven't featured him, and we're going to here pretty soon. He's got a hell of an arm.
Yep.
I mean, he could be a pitcher. He throws at 95. Guy's got a great arm.
Saw him at Cedar
Best-
Rapids last year, actually. Yeah.
Best minor league prospect, Doug Minkiewicz, who we all know as a former Twin. Lastly, we got the low A, and the best overall pitching prospect, Cole Stewart, which
Yeah.
obviously that makes sense. He's
Yep.
a stud. Best fastball, who I spoke about just a little while ago, Nick Birdie.
Nick Birdie.
Those are your best tools for our Twins minor leaguers.
That's awesome. It's cool. It's cool things that you Twins fans can take a little extra to look forward and follow these guys. Now that you've heard, which of these guys have these tools, you can start to follow these guys a little more.
And that's out of all the baseball. That's
Yeah.
Every single, and there's a lot. There's over 800 minor leaguers. Okay, I just rattled off a bunch of names here, different tools that we're the best at.
That we're the best
That's
at.
Great. That's really good.
And with this, guys, we give you this information so that way if you guys are just starting to learn the minor leagues or whatever, well, now you can take this, and these are guys that you can now start to follow and see how they progress and know that, you can go, hey, Talking Twins, taught me about these guys and gave me that information. And with that, guys, we appreciate you listening. We'll be right back here to go over Twins Chat here on Talking Twins. Welcome back, Twins fans, and it's time now on Talking Twins for the Twins Chat segment where we take you guys all around the club at Target Field this week. Dun-ta-da, we got a nice little announcement, and the first is it finally
Trevor
happened.
May, finally.
I mean, it only took all year. We only asked for this since, I don't know, like sometime in April, but it has finally happened, folks.
Our number 8 prospect by MLB is coming up
He's coming up
tomorrow night.
and starting tomorrow night against Oakland at the O.Co Coliseum.
8
So
o'clock our time. Now, Trevor May here, 2.93 ERA in 17 starts with Rochester. He struck out 91. He's only walked 37, allowed only 4 home runs, and 95 in the third innings. I think he's ready.
And I want to throw a shameless plug out. First of all, guys, 8:10 tomorrow night, Fox Sports North. If you can't be near the TV, K-Twin at least, 96.3. At least make sure you can listen to this game. Trevor May's first start. Now, the other slightly shameless plug is that if you're looking to go to a game at Target Field on the next homestand, I would pick out Friday, August 15th, because the way that
I'll be there.
Daryl will be there, and the way that the rotation works right now, I'll be jealous, but the way that the rotation fills out right now, that will be Friday night, Trevor May's first start at Target Field. So with that, Daryl will definitely give us the feedback for Talking Twins in the
Absolutely.
next week or two on that.
Here's a couple other things about May.
Definitely.
He's always been a power arm, and that's what I loved about him. But before, and I go back to this, before the Arizona Fall League, he was just a power arm. He struck out 10.5 batters per 9 innings throughout 7 seasons in the minors. But he suffered from control issues, and that was the big problem. He cut his walk rate down in 3 straight seasons, going from 4.7 per 9 in 2012 to 4 last year to 3.5 this year. I think Arizona Fall League last year really did it for him. He became not just a power pitcher, but a pitcher.
Oh, I agree. More, putting some more innings under the belt and just also learning a little bit more, how to pitch at the level you're at now. I think those two things, and AFL has been good for a lot of guys. It was good for Brian Dozier a couple years ago.
It was.
It's been good for a lot of players, and I think obviously as we're going to see tomorrow night, it was good for Trevor May, too.
Good game. It'll be fun to talk about next week.
I definitely think it will. And with that, let's continue on to another young guy we want to talk about who now just finished his first week in the majors, and that's Kenny Vargas. Kenny's been a nice little godsend to come up to the club. Just look at his slash line, first of all. It's nice at 280, 367, and 46. 7 for 25 his first week with the double, the homer, and the 7 ribbies. That's the thing I like. That's the number that stands out to me. Those numbers I read to you guys are only over 6 games. Right. So, if you just, obviously we're not going to extrapolate it out and say he's going to drive in 106.
That home run was really fun to watch.
That was fun to watch.
That was a game, it came to be a game-winning home run.
Right, it was the game winner. I also just, like I said, those 7 RBIs over 6 games. He's not going to keep that pace up, an RBI a game. But my goodness, even if he does that every couple of games, just the fact that again, it's another run producer in the lineup now.
That's right, and he can do it from both sides of the plate.
Yes,
he's dangerous from the left. He's solid from the right.
So that's a great mention. The fact that he's a solid switch hitter.
The Twins aren't going to screw it up this time and get rid of the David Ortiz everybody knows. Big Poppy, he's not.
Kenny's going nowhere.
Kenny's not going anywhere.
Going nowhere.
Now, he does need to drop some pounds. He's 275. He's got to drop a little bit. But you know what? He's made a solid effort to eat his broccoli, he says, and I love it, and work on conditioning.
But I liken him to Frank Thomas. You know what? Frank Thomas is a big man, too, and Frank Thomas, to be quite honest.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer. He just got in.
And didn't need to lose really any weight at all.
And Frank Thomas numbers are better than Big Poppy's.
Well, right, and that's why I don't want the Twins to skinny Kenny down too much, because it's like you're not going to turn him into leave him.
He's here to stay. He's here to stay. We're really going to get a judge on him over the next 2 months.
Believe it what he is.
Next year.
He's a power hitter, and I just don't want him to mess too much with his size, and next thing you start to sap the guy's strength a little bit. Just, you know what? Let him be. The guy can hit the size he is.
But he wants to be more than a DH. He said it himself. He wants to be
He played first base for half a season at New Britain, and they had no problems with agility. I heard a couple of the guys down there that cover.
At 24.
But I'm just saying.
But not at 30. You can't do that.
You don't know that. None of us know that. This guy could have the makeup where he can.
Fair enough.
He could. To be honest, he could. He very well could.
Well, I'm excited for him. That's one of our stud prospects we've been dying to see come up. We've been waiting for this for 2 years now. These prospects that are coming up and showing us, why are we paying the money to be season ticket holders? Why are we going to the games? Why are we still excited? He's one of the reasons we're excited. The other reason, Danny Santana.
Danny Santana leads right into Danny Santana's continued red-hot performance as a Twin.
Look at this. His slash line, a batting average of 308, on base 353, slugging 471. With runners in scoring position, Brad, he's 354, and he's a leadoff guy.
And in his last 10 games, he's got 2 homers, 9 RBI, and then slides in 3 stolen bases just because he's not only driving runs in, he's also still trying to set the table for other people behind him.
Those 3 plus 6 more, 9 is what he's got on the
total,
year.
Right.
And here's the thing. Defensive-wise, this is what everybody was worried about was his defense. He's got a solid... he's got a great line. 2 errors in 33 games at center field, which he is not a center fielder.
Well, he's
an athlete playing the position.
I was just going to mind you.
And only 1 error playing his regular position at shortstop in 18 games.
And he never played center field before the season. He never played center field before the season.
He's filling that spot until Byron comes up probably next year.
Exactly. Now, they may, with the signing of Jordan Schaefer, they may... spot Schaefer here and there in center
Schaefer's
field.
an excellent defensive.
He is, and he's fast.
center
So
fielder.
you can play him center field.
He's not a good offensive mind,
Exactly.
but he's great at the defensive.
And that's
sort.
that's
he's
why
great
I said they may
outfielder.
spot him there, but they're not going to take. I mean, I've heard fans ask, well, why won't they take Danny Santana out of center field now when they play him at shortstop right now? Because right now they need Danny to play outfield for the rest of this season until next year when we can bring call.
Unless something happens with Escobar.
Well,
or Nunez
right,
or something
right.
along those lines. But let's get to that. Like right now, okay, so you got your infield. Nothing's going to happen right now because right now one of our hottest players is Trevor Plouffe.
It's Trevor Plouffe by far. I mean,
And let me give you some numbers here. Now, we all know Miguel Sano is going to be the future
third baseman.
And he had Tommy John, but that really doesn't affect what he is or where he's still gonna be a power hitter. He's still gonna be a third baseman. Trevor Plouffe, though, I wasn't a big fan, but the man's impressed me. So pre All-Star, he was hitting his slash line was 245, 317 on base, 409. Post All-Star, look at these numbers, 268, so they go up. 350 and 408. In his past 7 games, he's hitting a solid 458, a homer, pair of doubles, 6 RBI, 5 runs, 6 walks to only 3 strikeouts, and his plate discipline, which I like, is improved.
Oh, I mean, he's definitely. You see that he's again taking more pitches, and that leads to longer at bats. It leads to pitchers,
absolutely, and
mistakes.
I'll take it even further. Looking at his fielding. Right now he's 5th overall in AL third baseman in fielding percentage at 963. Last year he was 8th, so he's improved his defense.
And what about WAR?
And WAR right now he stands at 5th.
Nice.
Yep,
nice.
He's 5th. Compared to other, excuse me, he's 4th.
4th, okay.
Yep. Right now, compared to every third baseman in the AL, he's 4th in runs scored, 9th in total hits, 1st in doubles, 11th in homers, 5th in RBI, and 4th in WAR.
I mean, you're definitely not a liability at that point. I'm sorry, you're not a
the
liability.
Twins are going to have to decide what they're going to want to do because they know they got a big stud prospect, third baseman, coming up. You have to keep you either get a truckload for Trevor Plouffe.
Yeah, you get some value.
Or you keep him
and play him
because maybe you put him at left.
Yes, because Willingham's gone next year. That's a good fit right there.
He's making a great argument, and he's proved me wrong because I was not a Trevor Plouffe supporter, but he's proved me wrong. He's doing everything he needs to do right now to stay in the Twins uniform.
But like you said, if they are going to get rid of him, it can't
you better get a truckload.
Yep,
you better get a truckload
exactly.
because he's putting up the numbers. All those numbers except for.
If you don't get a truckload, then somebody's robbing you. That's the easiest way to put it.
He's 11th in home runs. Everything else is all major offense categories. He's top 10.
If you decide not to keep him and don't get talent back, you're letting somebody rob you. The better option would be is if you're going to have a hole in left field next year. Maybe
we saw it 2 years ago where he went on that run where he was hitting just bombs.
Oh yeah,
left and right.
Yeah.
But you know what? He doesn't need to do that. If he's playing solid baseball. He's played solid defense. I'll take that consistently over a course of a year than a month and a half of 20 home runs.
Right. And if
we have power hitters coming up, we don't need him to do that.
But I mean, if he keeps hitting the ball like he is, mixes a little power in with the production, that's a beautiful thing right there. And if you can slide him to left field next year and have Sano come in to play third base. Boy,
Well, Sano, he's gonna need most of next year.
Yeah, it's not the beginning of the season, right?
To refine everything because of the Soldier Series.
Right.
Yeah, he's gonna need that. He's a power hitter.
It's more of a later season,
exactly.
look.
He's gonna be that Kenny Vargas type.
Yep.
Come August, if he's slugging away, if he's got 20 home runs or wherever he's at in August, that's when you'll see him.
And mentioning August, it's kind of funny because that's what Twins fans are now starting to ask about. Well, what should we look for in August and September? I mean, now that we're realistically, out of a playoff race, what should we look for in August and what should we look for in September? Now, last week we touched on this from more of the business side. Daryl gave you guys how the August waiver process works and so forth, and how the business aspect of it works. What we want to more talk about this week, and more specific to the Twins, is who and what we should look for in August and September. Now, of course, Twins fans remember that 25-man roster that you have during the regular season. Once September 1st comes around, you now have access to the full 40-man roster up at in Minneapolis. So you have those 15 extra players that are going to be packing the dugout in there and making it a little.
I think Cowbell's gone. I think he's gone. Right now you have.
I mean, do you think he's gone before the end of this season?
No, I think he's gone this weekend.
Really?
Well, you have Trevor May coming up. You have to clear a spot for him, and we have Malone coming up. You got to make a roster move.
I understand that.
I think Colabello is.
But
gone.
I've heard the Twins say that they're getting kind of tired of keeping 13 pitchers, and they'd like to narrow that number down to 12. And to be honest,
yet they might keep 6 on the starting man rotation.
But if I'm Gardy, that does bother me a little bit, because if you want me to win games, me keeping 13 pitchers does not help me at all, because it hand ties me
but
horribly,
they're
though.
They're last place right now. They're not going to win.
But you still try to win. You're still playing. Hey,
you're playing to win. Yep,
I guarantee Oakland Athletics will not want you to finish the statement you're going to say, because they do not want or other teams that are in that race with them, because they don't want you going out like you're just going to half it. You still
they're
have
not
to.
Half it. They're not going to half it.
Then if you're going to
position themselves
if you're going to go out and try to win
next year. Next year's the year they're supposed to make.
You still have to play this year to win, though. There's a little thing called Major League Baseball integrity. So you still have to have. And the Gardy's point is, don't stick me with 3 guys on a bench every night. I can't make no moves after the 7th.
Well, they finally made the right move to get Trevor May up. It took this long to get that.
I understand.
That's ridiculous.
But you've got a bullpen now where there's too many guys in there. One of them can go back down. Well, there you go. But I'm saying that's my point, is you've got a bullpen now.
Then maybe they trade. A Dunsing.
Or Correa. Or even Correa.
Correa should be gone. I don't think Correa's last 2 starts were solid.
Right.
2 quality starts.
And if I'm Terry Ryan right now,
he's gone.
But
he's hitting that waiver wire this weekend.
But if I'm Terry, I'm calling guys, and maybe he is, but I'm trying to really sell those last 2 starts. Because one thing you don't need right now, I mean, I'm almost going to prove your point, though. But I'm almost going to.
We had a buddy of ours who wanted.
Who thought
he was worth his weight in gold here a couple weeks ago. He was throwing out softballs,
and
he wasn't worth anything. His last 2 he was solid.
And to your point, though, if they're not in it right now, why are you keeping 6 starters in a rotation? Get rid of one of them.
Oh no, I agree 100%.
Go deal Kevin Correa for just an A-ball prospect. Even just go get rid of him, because let Trevor come up and pitch.
Well, he's pitching. He's not going. It's getting Malone up as well. Unfortunately,
but it's the point I'm driving home.
We're not going to see Meyer.
No,
I don't believe. I've changed my stance.
I know we're not going to.
I know
Tommy
we're not
Malone
going
now.
to. Well, exactly. With Tommy Malone and Trevor May both doing well.
Door shut there.
And you know what? And I'm okay with it this time, because they're only doing it because he is an ace. He's an ace in the making, and they're gonna be conservative with him.
And I think you're okay with it too, honestly, because it's Tommy Malone taking a spot, not Logan Darnell, Chris Johnson, other guy, rotating through.
Albers and all these guys that are going to end up in Canada or Korea or wherever.
And honestly, he's not even panning out there right now. He's actually he's flailing there.
We have legitimate guys that are going to make our rotation next year. Our rotation in 2015, Twins fans, nothing like you're seeing right now. It's what you're going to see in about 3 weeks from now.
Nothing to be ashamed of either.
No.
Nothing at all to be ashamed of.
Because next year, I can tell you right now, you're going to see Gibby, Phil Hughes, Alex Meyer, Trevor May, Malone, and or a prospect, or someone that we pick up off of free agency. That's your rotation. Not these guys right now. These Chris Johnson, Pino, who I like,
but he's
long relief.
But and that leaves a couple of guys that we've talked about that not even included yet. Like, for example, JL or Mr. Barrios.
JL's a year away. He's a year or so
away.
away.
That's what I'm saying, though. But that's what I mean. It gives that line, though. That's what I mean.
And they're even better prospects.
Besides that, Cole Stewart, Lewis Thorpe is down there at Cedar Rapids too. I mean, there's a couple of guys down there even that they can dig at low A that can even
they got a
slide,
lot. And then you got Nick Birdie.
Closing.
You got all those pitchers that they picked up.
We'll see what Polson does if he somehow the other 100-mile-an-hour heater, if he somehow just finds it.
I keep waiting for him to have his first pitch. I'm excited for that one too, because that 100-mile-an-hour here. I mean, they got a lot of flamethrowers. I love that they're going against the grain, the Minnesota way. They're going what they need to do, and that's heat.
And I think what we're trying to preach to Twins fans too in this aspect is that it's not like there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
It's
There's a bright light.
It's looking bright.
There's a
The
real
future
bright
is
light.
definitely bright for Twins fans.
And the biggest way I can say it is I had a guy come up to me he even said it himself at work. He's a fair weather Twins fan, but he says I'm not diehard like you or you guys. I'm not that in depth. And he goes, I can't handle another 90 loss season. How do I look at it? What do I how can I? And I said,
Think
you know
Nick
what?
Gordon.
I actually
Think Byron
broke history.
Buxton.
I said if you go back to when the Twins moved into the Metrodome in 1982. I'm sorry, you younger kids, but yes, I am that old. 1982, when the Twins opened to the Dome, Ken Herbeck was just coming up from Visalia. Kirby Puckett wasn't even on the.
He wasn't on the roster
Yeah,
yet.
Tim Laudner was just coming up. Gaetti, Gagné, these were guys yet to come up. But yet, if you look at what 82 to 87 turned into, it was a group of a young nucleus of players. Herbeck, Laudner, Gagné.
Let's fast
Gaetti,
forward that
Puckett.
7 years.
And
We hit that lull, and we had Torrey Hunter.
Yes.
We had all those guys come in.
But that's my point.
After we hit that lull after our last World Series, it took a little while.
But that's my point.
And then
I
all
think
those guys came in, and then we hit a lull because Bill Smith.
and what I'm saying here, though, even more, I think really that 81 to 87, it really mimics this a lot.
Oh, it does.
It's a lot of young guys coming up at the exact same time or within a year or two of each other.
Well,
that
that's
when they
any minor league. You have to have that collective
But we haven't
group.
had that, though, for the
No,
last
because we
several
missed
years.
his stretch because of Bill Smith. He missed on a lot of good prospects.
Right.
He missed on 4 years in a row.
And
there were bombs.
We also traded some out of the farm system on top of that, and we
That's
ran
right.
the farm system pretty thin. I mean, it was,
now, if you look at our last 3 first-round picks,
and that's why I
all
think,
are ready to be.
that's why I think
big-time
we're going to
players.
see kind of a. I don't want to just go out and say a repeat. We're going to win the World Series. That's jumping it.
We
But I
will.
think we're going to see. I think we are going to see somewhat of a repeat of those early '80s. So I think we're going to see another young nucleus group come
Right.
up, and it's going to be that Sano, Buxton, those
Nick
guys,
Gordon,
Nick Gordon. I mean,
and
it's going
all
to be
the
that.
pitchers we've
and
mentioned.
yes, it's going to be that another, nucleus coming up again like that. So that's
and
what.
any free agent ones, you can't forget about that because you got a beautiful target field.
And so
It's
that's
beautiful to play in the
And
year.
that's what I'm
I mean,
telling guys, trying to tell them, it's not just bleak and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Nobody, believe me, it's not like Daryl and I are sitting here like, yay, we want to lose 90 games. We're the last guys that want to
Because
lose
we
90
probably
games.
will. You know what? Let's get it right
But if
now.
it-
We're
but if it
probably going to
happens-
have a 4 year in a row where we lose 90 a year.
What
and that means another solid pick because Terry Ryan's still picking.
But what we're trying to say is look at what we're showing you for next year. Look at what the rotation just looks like for next year.
The
Look at the
rotation
lineup
looks
for next year.
amazing.
This team
It takes time. That's the thing about baseball, and that's what I love about baseball.
This team will be
It's-
better.
It's chess.
and this team will be better next year.
Yes, it will.
I
Oh my
guarantee
gosh.
this team will be better
I guarantee
next year.
it's 80 wins next year.
And even if it's nothing
If
else,
not,
fans,
more.
even if it's not more than a 10 jump in the win column, I still guarantee this. They're going to be a better pitching ball club next year than they are this year. The bullpen is
absolutely.
pretty solid, but obviously that starting rotation is going to get a lot better. And right there, fans.
Well, you look at the difference right now.
We'll just drop half a run a game, for example, in ERA and see how many more wins you get. You're going to find a few.
Pelfrey, take him out.
Right
What
there.
happened
Just
right
right
away?
there.
Correa, take him out right away.
You could find 5 to 10 more wins right there, just right there.
But you look at the improvement of Gibby from last year to this year.
Yes, that's a
Now,
good point. That's a
imagine
good point.
Now imagine that. I've
That's a
always
very good
considered
point.
him, in 2009 when he got drafted, I considered him a top 2 or 3.
Yes.
And then he had the surgery. He came back, and I was like,
We wondered a little, yep, a little wondering.
The 3 maybe 4.
Yep.
And then this year he came back, and it's spotty. He pitches like Verlander at times.
Yeah.
And then he pitches like
You're wondering how he got here at times.
Single A guy.
Yeah, like you're wondering how he
I'm
got
out
here.
there throwing softballs. Now next year I guarantee because of his work ethic, he'll improve even if it's slightly.
Well, that's
He's
what it,
gonna be even. He's a solid. He's got 3+ pitches. He's a stud. He's a solid. Right now, I'd say Gibby right now is a solid 2.
And now, mind you,
2.
look at, you talk about improvement. Let's say he's going to
That's
win.
huge.
He's going to win what, 12, 13 games this year?
He's got
he's got
about
9 right now, doesn't he?
Well, he's got 10.
10. So
He's got
10. Excuse me. So I'd say 12 to
So
13
he's got
that's
anywhere
pretty,
from 12
that's
to
safe.
15 that he can get.
So let's say he gets 13 wins this year. Let's just
with a sub 4 ERA.
yeah.
by the
Let's
way.
just ballpark that and say 13 wins this year. That means if he improves by 10 to 20% next year, He's a 17-game winner.
He's a Cy Young candidate if he
Yeah,
can
I mean,
win on the road.
and even,
But it's just improving where he needs to.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
That's what he's doing.
I don't even want to rush him to the point yet of jumping him like, you got to go with that
He's
side.
not Clayton Kershaw. We're not blowing it up. He's not Clayton Kershaw.
But I'm just saying, let's say at the 3 spot in the rotation, if he wins next year, if he wins 13 this year and can win you 17 games next year,
Yeah.
boy, you're going to put it this way, when's the last time the Twins had a 17-game winner?
Johan.
That's
Johan
all
Santana,
5.
my
That's
friends.
that's all
Johan
5 seasons.
Santana.
Well, 4 full seasons in Target Field and the 5th since we've had
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's
Now
what I'm saying.
imagine that, and you got Phil Hughes.
Who's going to win 15
least
plus
that.
this year?
Yep.
I mean,
And now imagine him doing it again.
And-
At least being consistent.
Let's
Let's say he does 10. He's going to be double digit.
and
He
let me
loves
even just
pitching
flip
here.
it this way. Let's say with those two, we won't even say who does which, but one of them wins 17 and one of them wins 18 or 19. My Lord, you're not going to take those two in your rotation with whatever Trevor May's going to do,
and
Tommy Malone, and Meyer,
and Meyer, and any potential free agent.
exactly.
And you know what? With the guys that we have, the Twins might be smart of not going out getting a free agent.
Exactly.
Let's go get a bat
As a free
until our
agent.
boys get healthy and are there.
Exactly, because you've got enough young arms that you can pitch right now.
Because Sano's not going to be there right away.
See, I agree with that.
Buxton's not going to be there right away. Who we're going to have right away, Santana, who's a stud. He's a Twins Rookie of the Year. Mark it on your calendar. He's there. Twins Rookie of the Year right now. And then you got Kenny Vargas. Not Kenny's. He likes Kenny. Kenny Vargas. He's going to hit 30 runs.
See,
30 home runs next year.
You said the statement right when you started this, though. Pay that money for a bat.
Hit a
You've
bat.
got stud arms. Just use them all.
And Terry Ryan is smart in finding. In the Winter League, he does it all the time.
yes.
He did it with the hammer.
Yep,
He
yep.
did it with the hammer. He's gone. Josh is going to be gone.
Yeah,
here
he'll-
in
I think-
probably a week or so, I would guess.
I think Terry will. I honestly,
And I think he'll find some hidden gem like
I
he
think
always
that'll be
does.
their focus too. I really do this
And
offseason.
I don't believe, and I know a lot of Twins fans are scared that because they went out and paid $49 million for Nolasco and $184 for Mauer, 4 years ago or 3 years ago, that they're not. They will spend this year. I promise you, they're gonna spend, but they're gonna spend smart because all those pieces that we're talking about are ready to play now. So now you're just missing that 1 or 2 pieces. You got a solid bullpen. You got a rotation that's going to be heavily. I mean,
Yeah.
instead of being last or third to last, we're going to be in that middle to upper top 10. Now it's the run producing that we need.
and
Adam Walker, who's going to be on the cusp. Well, that's a year away yet.
Yep.
Sano, maybe a half a year away yet. Buxton, half a year away yet. So you need that run producer. They're gonna go out and find a run producer.
Yeah, Twins fans, don't be worried there. Don't be afraid there. I mean, like Daryl said, Terry is definitely going to. Mr. Ryan's going to spend the money wisely, but I don't want him to sit there and think that, oh my God, because the GM has been burned by a couple of deals, he'll never spend
Everybody
again.
gets burned.
I was going to say that was where I was going to go.
That's the name of the game.
And I was gonna
here.
flip
It's
on
like,
top of that,
Let's go to the casino and throw some money on Black 13.
And I was going to
It's the
say
name
on
of the
top of
game.
that, too, though, any GM that would really be that scared that I've had a couple of deals bomb, I can't spend more money, probably shouldn't be a GM in the major leagues anyway, because like Daryl said, it's going to happen that way. Some deals work out great for you. Some deals,
And
boy,
they
you think they're
signed
going
Sano
to.
when he was 16 out of Dominican. They signed.
And it's not like a GM goes into any deal thinking, oh, this deal's going to
Suzuki.
suck for me and be good for them. Every deal always looks like
Right.
it's going to be good for you both.
You have to pitch it. You're trying.
Yeah.
You're telling a story.
Sometimes it doesn't, it's like Daryl said. Sometimes
me.
it's
I'm
a
trying
bet.
to tell my daughter why boys are bad. I'm turning it my way.
Well,
why boys are bad.
That's a
okay?
story you're going to have to work a lot harder
Well,
on than selling
I'm
the
just
Twins
saying.
pitching. But
I'm just saying. I'm spinning it. I'm turning it. I'm telling it my way.
I think I'll have a
That's
lot
the way it
easier
goes.
job fans selling the Twins rotation for next
I'm
year than
just
Daryl will
saying.
with his story. But
I'm just saying.
and with
Right.
that, guys, we're going to wrap up Twins chat right here on Talking Twins. But we'll be right back as we give you guys Twins calendar for the next week in Twins baseball. Welcome back to Talking Twins, and it's time now for the Twins calendar, where we give you guys the next week in Minnesota Twins baseball. Now, on Friday, the Twins start the second game of a 4-game set against the Oakland Athletics at O.Co Coliseum with a 9:05 start. On Saturday the 9th, Game 3 against the Oakland A's is an 8:05 start at the Coliseum, and then the Twins will wrap up the series against the Athletics with a 3:05 start on Sunday the 10th. After that, the Twins travel on to Houston to Minute Maid Park for a 3-game series with the Houston Astros. Monday's game on the 11th is a 7:10 start. Tuesday's game on the 12th is also a 7:10 start. And then the finale on Wednesday is a 1:10 p.m. start in Houston. Now, the Twins are off on the 14th, and then starting on Friday the 15th, they'll open up a 4-game series with the Royals, and they'll also open up a lengthy homestand that goes all the way to the 24th. We'll discuss that homestand on next week's version of Twins Calendar on Talking Twins. And with that, Twins fans, remember that you can always watch Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North or Fox Sports 1, and you can always listen to Minnesota Twins baseball on the radio home of the Twins. Of course, that's 96.3 K-Twin. And with that, guys, we'll be right back to wrap up Talking Twins. Well, Twins fans, we've come to the end of another episode of Talking Twins. Just want to give you guys a couple of reminders before we leave, though. First of all is that the Talking Twins t-shirts are now for sale. You can get those t-shirts in one of two different ways. First of all, you can go to the store at our Facebook page, which if you just click on the products little button, up near the top of the page there's our menu. Click on the products button, and that will take you into the store where you can purchase the men's or the women's variety. Remember, these are really nice, heavyweight, nice t-shirts, nice and comfortable. They're white. They come with the Talking Twins logo in full color on the front, and then the back is full color with logos of all the different places where you can listen to Talking Twins. Now, the second way, I mentioned the Facebook store way. The second way is you can go out to our Twins Notes site at www.twinsnotes.com, and you can click on the store link on the right-hand side of the page in the menu. It will take you right to the store there. Or there's even a little story about the t-shirts right on the front page you can click on, and that will take you into the same store. So either way, you can go to one of those two places, and you can then purchase your Talking Twins shirt. Now, the shirts are just $16 and then $3 for shipping and handling to get the shirt out to you guys. And we just want to say ahead of time, thank you. Anyone that purchases the Talking Twins t-shirt is not only getting a great t-shirt, but they're helping to support Talking Twins and to keep us going. So we really, really appreciate the support, guys. Thanks very much. The second reminder is that we just want to let you guys know if you have any feedback on our show, if you'd like to let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what we should add, what we should subtract, maybe more interviews you'd like to hear, things like that, just don't forget you've got 3 different ways you can contact us. First of all, you can always email us at talkingtwins@icloud.com. That's talkingtwins@icloud.com. The second way is Facebook. You can just leave us a comment on the Facebook page at www.facebook.com/twinsnotes. The third way is via Twitter. Shoot us a tweet. Our Twitter handle is twinsnotes, so you can just catch us at twitter.com/twinsnotes, or on your mobile phone device, you can also just, catch us and throw us a quick tweet that way at twinsnotes and let us know what you want to hear and things you'd like to see on Talking Twins. And with that, guys, we always appreciate you guys listening. Thanks so much. And until next week, as always, go Twins.